You like to believe that your decisions are logical, that when you choose, you weigh facts, compare outcomes, and calmly select what makes the most sense. But if that were true, regret would be rare. Arguments wouldn't escalate. People wouldn't stay in situations they know are bad for them. The uncomfortable truth is this: reason does not sit at the top of the mental hierarchy. Emotion does. Logic is often not the driver of your decisions. It is the narrator that arrives afterward to explain what emotion has already chosen. From the outside, emotions feel secondary, almost childish, something that interrupts real thinking. From the inside, however, emotions are the brain's oldest decision-making system. Long before language, numbers, or abstract reasoning existed, emotion was how survival choices were made, and the brain never gave that power up. Here's what's happening beneath your awareness. When a situation appears, a comment, a facial expression, a memory, a threat, the emotional centers of the brain activate milliseconds before the rational ones. Fear, desire, anger, attachment, shame, they fire instantly. Only after that does the prefrontal cortex come online to analyze, justify, and explain. So when you say, "I knew better, but I still did it," you're not confessing weakness. You're describing the brain's normal operating system. Emotion doesn't ask permission from reason. Reason asks emotion for an explanation. This is why you can logically understand something and still act against it. You can know that a purchase is unnecessary and still buy it. You can know a relationship is unhealthy and still stay. You can know a lie will cause damage and still tell it. Because logic answers the question, "Is this true?" Emotion answers the question, "How do I feel right now?" And the brain treats the second question as more urgent. Consider a simple, relatable moment. You're in a heated argument with someone close to you. Midway through, you realize the conversation is spiraling. You know continuing will only make things worse. You even think, "I should pause, I should calm down." And yet, you say the thing anyway. The sentence that can't be taken back. In that moment, reason didn't disappear. It was simply overruled. Emotion had already labeled the situation as a threat to your identity, your pride, your sense of being understood. Once that label is applied, the brain shifts priorities. Winning, defending, or releasing tension becomes more important than long-term outcomes. Logic becomes a tool, not a guide. It searches for arguments that support the emotional impulse already in motion. This is why highly intelligent people are not immune to irrational behavior. In fact, they are often better at justifying it. A sharper mind doesn't prevent emotional override, it just produces more convincing explanations afterward. Another uncomfortable layer: emotions feel like truth. Fear doesn't announce itself as fear, it presents as certainty. Anger doesn't feel like anger, it feels like moral clarity. Desire doesn't feel like desire, it feels like inevitability. Because emotions evolve to guide action quickly, they come packaged with a sense of correctness. The brain isn't saying, "I feel scared." It's saying, "This is dangerous." Reason, by contrast, feels tentative. It weighs probabilities. It uses words like maybe, likely, possibly. Emotion uses absolutes, and the brain prefers certainty over nuance. This is also why emotional memories are stronger than rational ones. You may forget the exact facts of an event, but you remember how it made you feel. Those feelings then resurface in future situations, silently influencing decisions without rechecking the evidence. You think you're responding to the present, but you're often reacting to an emotional echo from the past. So why does the brain keep emotion in charge, even when it leads to mistakes? Because for most of human history, speed mattered more than accuracy. A false positive, assuming danger when there was none, was safer than a false negative. Emotion kept people alive long before logic could be trained. The problem is that modern life rarely involves predators, but the brain still reacts as if it does. A critical email triggers the same circuitry as a physical threat. Social rejection lights up pain centers similar to injury. Uncertainty activates anxiety systems designed for survival. Reason was added later, not as a replacement, but as an advisor. And advisors can be ignored. Understanding this changes how you see self-control. Self-control is not about being more logical. It's about recognizing that logic alone cannot defeat emotion in the moment it arises. You don't win by arguing with your feelings. You win by slowing the system down, by creating distance between emotional activation and action. That pause, even a few seconds, allows reason to re-enter the hierarchy. Emotion will always speak first. The real question is whether you let it speak last. And once you understand that emotions don't override reason because you're weak, but because your brain is ancient, you stop blaming yourself and start designing your life with that truth in mind. Because the most dangerous illusion is believing you are purely rational, and the most powerful skill is learning how to think after you feel instead of pretending you didn't.